1, 2, 3, 4. Good morning. Wanted to see if I could do that from the from inside of VR. Looks like that works. So we are in Newquay, and we're going to do some cross-country flying. I was hoping the weather would be a little better. Looks a bit overcast, so we'll just have to see how everything works out. If it doesn't work out too well, I'll just change the weather a little bit. But I don't want to fly with no clouds. But I think I've got overcast at about 800, 1200, something like that. It's pretty low, so we're not really flying over anything too high, no mountains that I'm aware of, so might be okay, but we'll just have to figure it out. So let's see. Yep, looks like I'm streaming, so that's kind of cool. So let me go ahead and start running my checklist and see if I forgot anything.
OBS sim sound.
Sim sound. So yeah, it looks like that's working.
Check. Mod mic in position.
It is now.
Check. OBS mod mic sound.
1, 2, 3. There we go.
Check. OBS streaming.
Looks like we're streaming.
Check. Over toolkit windows.
Yeah, looks like we're working. Got a chat window there. Got a couple of other windows here, so that's working.
Check. Fly with Lewis sounds script.
Yep, got that here.
Check. ABI tab plugin.
Have a tab. Yep, we're got it.
Check. Rep weight and balance.
I did both of these before
Check.
before I started
Rep
streaming.
maintenance log. Check. 2 brakes. Test and set. 3 fuel selector. Both. 4 fuel shutoff valve. On, in. 6 beacon. On. 7 avionics switch. Off.
Oops.
8 master switch.
Yeah, a second to get lined up here.
On. 9 throttle. Open 1/4 inch. 10 mixture. Idle cut off. A auxiliary pump. On. B mixture. Rich until 3 to 5 GPH then cut off. C auxiliary pump. Off. 12 starter. Engage. 1 ignition switch. Start. 2 mixture, at engine start. Rich. 3 engine. RPM 1000 RPM. 4 oil pressure. Check. 5 mixture. Leaned max. 6 flaps. Retract. 7 avionics. On. 8 instruments.
Oh, instruments. Where are we at? Looks like we're pretty close to 15. Going towards south. Okay, I don't know. EGHQ EGHQ So 389, almost 400, so we're off by a little bit. Set.
Set. 1 brakes.
Okay. Let's sit here and let the plane warm up a little bit, do a little bit other testing. There is that. Huh. That's kind of weird. Say weather.
Weather at Echo Golf Hotel Quebec is broken. Visibility is unrestricted. Winds are 164 at 6 knots. Cloud coverage is 600 few clouds. 2000 broken. Current altimeter is 3021. Temperature 122.11.
Oh, I would say that's bad. Say active runway.
Aircraft calling ground. Say again with your call sign.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, say active runway.
Aircraft calling ground. Say again with your call sign.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, say active runway.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf arriving and departing runway 12.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I don't like that weather. Let's go take a look. That don't look good. Yeah, that looks somewhat better. Changing my barometer. Yeah, that's broken. That should be better. I like flying real weather, but that was a little crazy for a VFR flight. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, say active runway.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf arriving and departing runway 12.
Okay. So let's get the other airports dialed in here. EGTE. EGHH. EGKA. So HQ is where we are. See if we got any airport maps. Yep. Let's rotate. Zoom a little bit. Oops. Yep. Figure out where we are here. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf ready to taxi.
Contact tower on 134.37, have a great flight.
Good morning, Iowa. Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Tower, go ahead.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf ready to taxi.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, contact Newquay ground on 121.9 or 5 for taxi clearance.
Ground Cessna 6 Bravo Golf ready to taxi. Ground Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Whoops, a little technical difficulties here. Ground Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Newquay ground on 121.9 or 5, go ahead.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf ready to taxi.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, taxi to runway 12.
Okay. Runway 12. I'm thinking I've got a turn. Well, we'll find out. Get moving a little bit here. Do I find me a taxiway? That looks good. So, taxiway, that looks like there's one right there. That looks good. There's a big X there. It says don't go that way. So, I think I'm going the right direction. If I'm going to runway 12 and it's in the bottom, when I spin around here at the end, I should be okay. Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Tower, go ahead.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, ready for departure.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, winds are 162 at 6 knots, altimeter 3021, cleared for takeoff, runway 12.
Alrighty. Everything looking okay. Everything in the green. Yep. Good to go. Okie dokie. So it looks like we got to be on a track of 75. Sounds good, Iowa. Thanks for dropping by. Don't work too hard. Okay, 500 feet above the ground. Go ahead and turn on track. Need to get to a heading of 75. Just double checking the compass, making sure. I'll pull the power back now, about 2200 or so. So 75. There we go. 75. Trim the plane for nav lights, taxi lights, strobes. Trim the plane up here for cruise. I think we got, yeah, about 60 miles to go. So, so far we're going okay. Still wants to climb just a little bit, trying to trim it. Extremely good frames today. That there is astounding. So the scenery we're running here is Orbx True Earth for Great Britain, and I'm running a resolution in my headset just under what native resolution is. So, and the way I judge where the resolution needs to be is generally in the cockpit is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, if I can turn my head over here and actually see this distance number clearly without squinting moving in, that's a good place for me to be. If I have frames to spare, then I probably can turn my anti-aliasing up a little bit. And but one flight doesn't determine that.
Cessna
So
6 Bravo Golf, have a good afternoon. Frequency change approved.
alrighty, guess I'm on my own. So like I said, we got 57.6 miles to go. So just trying to do the ground here is pretty level, no real mountains. So you can cruise at this altitude, 1,500 feet, and not worry too much. And if there's something coming up, it'll be obvious. It's like, oh, I got to get over that. So, but I try to do like about 1,500. So you're basically to your own devices. If you're under 3,000 feet, then you're kind of in VFR. You're kind of to your own devices to pick the altitude you want. So, and it gets a better view of the scenery. So I think I'm trying to think how many flights I've done with this headset, because I had a problem with it. There was a vertical green line in my right screen, so I had to send it in for repair. And so I really am not sure how many flights I've done after I got it back. So, but this is a replacement from HTC Vive. So I sent it in for repair and they replaced it. So I'm hearing other people with similar problems that have sent them in for repair more than once for the same problem, and that just seems kind of like a bad policy. But they were doing it in a different repair center. My repair center was in Seattle, and theirs was in Europe. So there may be a difference in policy. I don't know. Something's different by a lot. So I'm just slowly, she's trimmed pretty good actually. She's like, if it's descending about 200 feet a minute right now. So I just pull back on the yoke, just the slightest amount. And then just move the trim wheel down just a little bit to try to relieve that pressure. Trying to find a balance point for 1,500. So my threshold for flying is in the sim is 100 feet plus or minus of a chosen altitude target. So if I've chosen 1,500 to fly, 1,400 to 1,600 is my limit. If I'm away from that, I need to make a correction. So, and I don't make changes, I make corrections. So my corrections are very small, very, very, very small. But when I have a yoke that basically the throw coming out is 8 inches and it's 8 inches going back in from center, you can make really, really small changes. So it just is it's a serious joy to fly with this yoke. Whoops, I'm a little bit off course. I looked over at my Magenta line, and I'm not flying autopilot, I'm just hand flying course. So I looked over and it was off to the right. I was like, whoops, that ain't right. And I looked down on my heading indicator and went, oh, you're at like 50 or 45, not at 75. Here we go, back on course. It'll take a little while to get it to dial back, but she's doing okay. Yeah, weather's much more acceptable than what it was when I first loaded in. Yeah, I think it said broken at 600. It was kind of like, oh man, that'd just be ugly. The only downside when you do that and do manual weather is the Pilot JTC still thinks it's on the old weather, so it may pick runways and that kind of stuff, not reflective of the actual weather that you got. So, but we'll just have to work with it. Sounds like the new weather engine in X-Plane 12 should be a lot of fun to fly in. So, we'll just have to see. Looks like it's going to be released first to the developers before it can be before the general public will be able to get their hands on it. So it makes all kinds of sense. If you've completely redone something, the people that make add-ons, to make planes, make plugins, all those people, you really don't want to blindside them with a new product, and then let them have to scramble to kind of resolve the issues that their users are going to be complaining about. So it is pretty much how X-Plane has done it in the past with a new version. So they've kind of went about it that way to give the developers a heads up, you know, to for them to test the beta with their add-ons and make sure, you know, that it's not causing any grief it's causing. They can get with Laminar Research and kind of go like, hey, you broke this. And Laminar will either say, yes, we did, or they'll go, oh, whoops, we didn't mean to do that. So it can go two ways. So if you, as an add-on developer, have been doing something that Laminar Research has told you don't do, and you've done it anyways, and a new version comes out that's using the feature which would have broke that part, hey, the onus is on the developer. If you were told don't do it, don't do it. But or if you do, you pay the price. So, but we'll see. We'll just see how it goes. Plane's pretty level. I'm gonna pop outside. Yeah, it'd be good to get rid of them. Those billboard trees. Be nice to look down and they're actually three-dimensional. That will be nice. I'm gonna make an adjustment. Get back in the plane. Yeah, a little misaligned with my cockpit. That's not what I had in mind. Come on. That's better. So let me go to graphics. I'll pull it up a notch. Yeah, it seems a little better. It looked like I had frames to spare, so I went ahead and turned my anti-aliasing up just a little bit. I was looking at that antenna and it was flickering pretty good, so I thought I'd see if I could fix that. So, seems like I did. But my frames went from about in the 50s to 45, which is fine. I always want to be way above 20, but 35, 40. 45 is where I really want to be, but so we got 40 miles to go. Yeah, it looks a lot nicer. Yeah, ever since I was a student pilot, after about the first 10 hours of flight training, I finally learned how to trim an airplane. What a difference that made. So when I hear people say that they can't trim an airplane in the sim, I'm at a loss as to why that would be true. Because I mean, I can trim it. I rarely anymore fly on autopilot. Just don't. I'm flying the airplane. I don't want autopilot to fly it. If I have something to do, yeah, that's fine. You know, if I've got to try to get a setting or something like that, that's different. But for just flying the airplane, no, that kind of, to me, that kind of misses the point of flying an airplane. But I can fly for, wow, I can fly for a long time, actually. And about the only input that I'm doing, I mean, I have like 2 fingers on this yoke, and they're not moving the yoke in and out. They are basically realigning the course, because the plane is going to have a tendency to roll left or right. It just depends on wind. It depends on the plane. It depends on a lot of things. And so the only inputs to the yoke that I'm making is roll inputs, is to realign the airplane with the course I should be following. But as far as pitch adjustments up and down, no, I just don't have to do that, and I can do this for a long time. If it's really windy, or if it's gusting or something like that, that can have impacts. Sometimes pretty big impacts, actually. But generally, no. It's I'm watching a vertical speed indicator that is moving around between 100 plus or minus 100, if that. At 5 there would be 500. It's at 0. It's just going up and above that 0, below that 0, just a little bit, not much. And I've done that in flight simulators for quite a while. Like I said, this yoke here probably helps that a lot, really a lot. So, a little bit back on course here. plane's trying to ascend just a little bit, so I'm going to shove in on the yoke just a little bit. Try to catch it. Yep, caught it. So, next, EGTE. Alrighty. So, elevation of the next airport's 101 feet, so pattern will be 1100. We got a tower. So, oops. I'll wait till I get a little bit closer to put the tower frequency in. Probably about 20 miles out, I'll put the tower frequency in. I can put it in standby though. Set COM1 standby 119.800.
COM1 standby set to 119.8.
Okay. So I have it in my standby frequency. So all I have to do is hit the flip thing, and then it'll be active. So. I normally do a radio call at the next airport. About 10 miles out is when I normally try to do them. So it gives me some time. I was having a little bit of trouble with ATC at the previous airport, just trying to get permission to taxi and that kind of stuff. So if you do it 10 miles out, if you have those kind of problems, you can kind of work through and find a solution. Every once in a while, the frequencies that I have here in Avatab don't seem to match what Pilot ATC is looking for. So every once in a while, I'll have to redo it and set the standby frequency with Pilot ATC. But I always try to use the published chart stuff first as my initial contact. Yeah, mountains are always funny. These are like big hills. When you look at them, when you look at it out in the distance there, you kind of go like, I think I'm going to run into it. But as you get closer, it doesn't look that way anymore. It's kind of funny the way, it's just really an optical illusion. And kind of the way you look at it is, at least how I've found is, if you can see the other side of the mountain, you will clear that mountain. That's a guarantee. If you can't see the other side, then there's a good chance you won't. So like right here, any of this stuff, I can see it on the other side of that. So there's no way that I can't make it over it. The one a little further away, because you're further away, you can't quite see that yet. But as you get closer, then all of a sudden you'll start to see what's on the other side of that. So it's kind of funny how that works. But like I said here, there isn't anything really very, very tall. And I mean, I'm at a little over 1,500 feet. So even if it is something taller than that, it won't be hard to like gain some elevation. So. And also you kind of like look and see if there's any like low places, you know, where you could kind of skirt through the like through a pass, kind of like. Probably don't call them passes here because they're really not quite mountains, kind of highlands would be probably the proper term, you know. So, let's kind of look and do some judging. Looking fine to me. Yeah. So as you get closer, you can see it. I can see on the other side of this now. So there's no. You may get close, but not too big a deal. Maybe closer than I thought, but that's okay. Yeah, probably 50 feet. A pretty country. Just a little bit off in course. So 24 miles out. Kind of a different color than what it is here. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if that is satellite imagery gone awry, or if that's what it really looks like. Because it certainly isn't as green as that was back there. That was pretty lush back there. Where this is definitely not more. It does have some green in it, but nowhere near as much. Wonder why. It's all like there's no trees or anything by the looks of it. You can see that where the trees are. That's a pretty big building there, kind of, for out here without much around it. Yeah, right here it's the same. It's interesting. Could this be a satellite glitch? Like maybe there was a cloud, or I don't know. Now this one here looks a little bit taller. But you can see this is like green here. But right alongside of it, you see something that is just completely different. It's really interesting. was getting a little bit concerned. So I gave it a little bit more power to make sure I cleared it. Looks like I would have cleared it, but I wouldn't have cleared it by a lot. So, 17 miles out from the next airport, we're going to do a touch and go at. So the runway is 8 and 26. Since the weather is 250, so it looks like we're going to be landing on 26. We'll see if my guess is the same as what ATC is. If I was running real weather, I would be real sure. But since I'm not, I'm not as sure. But I normally put the whatever the runway is that I'm going to land on, I put my heading bug because I'm not using it for the autopilot. I put the heading bug on runway heading, so it helps me when I approach the airport to get myself properly aligned to do a proper pattern for the airport. So right now the heading I'm flying is pretty much a downwind for runway 26. Looks like the runway is about 6,600 feet long, so it's a really long runway. So for this airplane, the one I trained at was 8,500 feet. It originally was about 5,800 feet, but they added 2,000 feet to it, 2,000 or 3,000 feet. They had dreams of being a cargo center. Didn't work. They make the runway longer, but you fail to realize that so you built the new part of the runway better, but you fail to realize the existing runway wouldn't support the weight of a cargo plane. You kind of go, whoops, that was a mistake. So you have a nice long runway, it's easy to take off. I can land on that runway 2 or 3 times, but no cargo traffic ever came. That's sad. Spend the money for no good reason. So we're getting close. Switch frequency. Tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Tower, go ahead.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, inbound to land. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf inbound to land.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, good afternoon. Squawk 1200 altimeter 3018, expect to enter on a left downwind for runway 26. Call downwind.
Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, request touch and go.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 26. Call downwind.
So I guess I'll call it when I'm on downwind. Alrighty, so we're 9 miles out. I'm about 1,400 feet. So 1,100 is pattern, so I'm in pretty good shape here. So now we got to start looking for an airport. Got a bit of haze here, so it'll make it a little bit more fun. So 7 miles out. So right now it looks like I'm going to be on the right hand side of it, and I really should be on the left hand side of it. Oh, trying to get over a little bit. So far, even though it's 6 miles away, I don't see it. Which is kind of normal. And I'm kind of in the right place in the cockpit, so I'm setting about where you would set. So basically out the front of your airplane, you should see just the littlest bit of the cowling. And so that when you look here, I can look out from underneath the wing on both sides. And so, and I'm not really too high, so 4 miles out. I got sewage treatment plant down there. I'm trying to get myself to the left of the airport, because that's kind of what I need to be to do a proper approach here. But just not obvious where it is. You would think at 3 miles you should be able to see it, but I have learned that's not always true. Sometimes they hide. There it is. Oh, there it is. You have to kind of like know what you're looking for. So the 6,000 foot runway. So you're looking for something that is straight and long. And it took me a little while to find it, but I found it. And I found it with enough time to kind of do what I need to do here. So basically I'm going to go down the left side of this runway. I finally find it again. There she is. So I'm going to go down the left side of this runway and do a 180. And so kind of make sure that everything is lining up. Because there's another one there, but that isn't a real runway. So you want to make sure you're parallel to it. Yep, looks like I pretty much am. So I'm going to come out here a little bit. And when I can see the end of that runway, then I'll do a teardrop. So I'll go out to the left a little bit more and do a teardrop 180. So once I get turned around and set up for a proper downwind, then I'll make a call, and at that point in time I'll request my touch and go. And hopefully she's receptive. So we're going to pitch out a little bit. Just trying to get away from the airport just a little bit, so I have room to do a 180 and to turn back in on my on downwind. Something tells me I got something a little wrong. Let me I'll spin it around and I'll know for sure. I think I got it backwards. Maybe not. Yes, I do. But somehow I've lost the runway. That ain't good. But yeah, I'm a bit screwed up right now. That's okay. I'm having a hard time finding that runway. But I was headed the wrong way, so. Alrighty. That was a little disappointing. There it is. Now hopefully when I make my turn here, I'll be good. I'll be correct. That's why I put the heading bug in there. It kind of like gives me a second reference, kind of like, nope, that ain't right. All right, so I turn around. Yes, that looks way better. Okay, we're good. So I'm looking for the heading bug to be in the bottom if I'm on a downwind. I'm doing a left downwind, so on the right side of the airport here. Alrighty. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf downwind, runway 26.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf call turning final for runway 26.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf request touch and go.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 252 at 8 knots cleared for the option runway 26.
Alrighty. Back to power to like 2,000 right here. We're trying to get the plane slowed down a little bit. Actually a lot. So looking for the end of that runway. There we go. Pull the power back to like 1,800. 1 notch of flaps. Get the plane to start descending. Trying to go out here a little bit and have the runway at a 45 degree for me. Looking not too bad. So we'll go ahead and we'll turn on base. One more notch of flaps. Elevation is 102. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf turning final.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 252 at 8 knots cleared for the option runway 26.
Alrighty. So I haven't done one of these in a while, so it should be kind of entertaining. Well, that's not the flaps. Turned out pretty good. Up we go. Trying to climb out about 85 knots. Got full power in. Try to steepen the climb a little bit. Keep runway heading. Looking to be 500 feet above the ground before I make a turn. Oh, that was awesome. That was power management. Alrighty. Gonna go to a heading of 88. So we're just gonna swing wide of the airport here so I can just be clear of it and then get on course. So, because 88 looks like it's pretty much behind me. But it's a left-hand pattern, so I'm using my left-hand turn to get out away from the airport. And we'll be on to our next airport. 61 miles out. Cool. So that's 150. $120. Okay, pull power back to 2200. Continuing the turn, as long as we're not encroaching the airport. So that's 90. So we're pretty close. And we're on our way at an angle away from the airport. So I'm climbing a little bit more than I want to. So I pushed in on the yoke and moved the trim wheel up to gain some airspeed. Yeah, so the whole flight today is pretty much along the coast, so not over too much water, if any, but along the coast. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Just double checking my directional gyro with my compass to make sure they're fairly well synced, and they look pretty close. If you come in like landing on an airport, you know what it's supposed to be. You know what the airport number is, so you know what the heading's supposed to be. And when you look down at the heading indicator, and it's off by like 10, 20, 30, you kind of like second guess yourself. Am I landing on the right runway, or what's going on? Or am I at the right airport? Did I talk to the right controller? So it's always good to kind of double check that to make sure that that the magnetic compass and the directional gyro are in sync with each other, because they're not slave to each other. You have to every 15-20 minutes you're supposed to look and just double check them. So, and as long as you're like turning, as long as you're like going straight and level, they should match pretty close. If you're turning, it's a bad time to try to adjust it, so you should be going like straight. And level doesn't necessarily matter too much. It will if you're going up and down a lot, but a little bit no. But it's always best if you're straight and level to take a look, and if it's not right, to adjust it. So that's this knob over here. So this knob here moves this dial where it's a little bit towards 6 on east. So that knob there turns that. This other one here moves a little orange guy at the bottom of the instrument. So for the next airport, whatever the runway we're landing on, I'll adjust this to match the runway number. So here we were landing on runway 26, so west is 27. So I'm one tick over from 27. So a little bit low in elevation here. So I see the power went down a little bit, so I pulled back on the yoke a little bit, and hopefully she'll start climbing slowly. Kind of getting a little closer to the coast than I'm supposed to be. So 45 miles to the next airport. Everything's looking pretty nice. Even though I went to scattered clouds, it's still left quite a haze here, so. And it definitely affects your visibility, so that's why when I was back at the previous airport, I was having a hard time trying to find that runway. It was the haze with the runway being gray, haze being similar. It didn't allow it to stand out. But then again, how close is that to real life? So if real life's like that, then it is what it is. But it is new. When I looked at my heading indicator, I was like, yeah, I'm not lined up to, I'm not lined up for a left downwind of 2.6. Just not. I said, I'm lined up to go on the wrong end of the runway. So, but we figured it out. It's all part of the fun of this. It's I used to hate to do this. I used to only fly to airports I had flown to before. But I kind of outgrew that and decided, no, I'll just pick. So what I tend to do is I pick 4 airports. I pick an airport I take off from and one I land at, and then I pick 2 in between that I'll do touch and goes with, and most of the time, a couple of these I think I've been to before, but most of the time not, and for sure never been to the same way I'm coming this time. So I may have been to this airport, but come to the airport from a different direction. So finding the airports, that's part of the challenge, is finding the airport, setting up a proper approach to do a touch and go. And so what that means is that you have to be in contact, and like I did, I tried to set up a touch and go earlier, and she just was not having any of it. So I waited until I was on a proper downwind, and then asked for a touch and go on the downwind, and I find that works the best. So the only way that wouldn't be true is if you're if you're taking off from an airport and requesting pattern work, you can ask for a touch and go before you take off, but that only gives you the one. After you've done your touch and go, if you're on the downwind, it's not like they're going to say you're cleared for the option. You have to request it every downwind. I've learned that. Because if you don't, she'll clear you to land, and she expects you to get off the runway when you land. So not do a touch and go. I see Helly Simmer had some pictures he was sharing of the what is that called? An R-22, I think it is. I could have the number wrong, but it's a helicopter on floats. That did look nice. Not only did it look nice, but the water just looked really, really nice. So one of the other things that X-Plane, that'll be a default aircraft for X-Plane 11. A helicopter on floats. That will be pretty cool to play with. Not a real big helicopter, kind of a smaller helicopter. I think just 2 passengers by the looks of it, so. That looked pretty neat. The water really looked neat. The colors were just astounding. Cannot wait. Kind of want to get back to streaming Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I'm kind of waiting for their next, I think it's software update 6, I think it is, where they're going to finally give VR some love, so we'll, hopefully they'll make it better. Right now I have a hard time streaming it. It is, it's a little unfriendly to my machine, and I'm not running I'm running a fairly, quite a high-end machine, so it's kind of like, really? I could only dream about frames like this in Microsoft Flight Simulator. They just don't happen. Not sure why. Some people seem pretty happy in VR, but I have found that streaming VR is a completely different animal than just using it in VR. So, but also haven't figured out a good way that I had thought about running a dual PC, but I'm not so sure how well that would work in practice in VR. Because normally you're going to have a second monitor, and I'm just not sure how to pull that off. I do have a second monitor, but the point is you have to somehow get it in here in VR. So there might be a way, but I haven't quite figured it out yet. So I'll kind of wait and see if they do some improvements, and hopefully it'll become a non-issue. I just find X-Plane much more friendlier to stream VR. And especially using like Orbx True Earth, the scenery is quite nice. I mean, yep, I had to pay for it, no doubt about it, and that's okay. I don't mind. It's what does the scenery look like? That's what I look at. I mean, I'm using a headset that costs $800. Do I worry that that Orbx True Earth for England is $100? Is around $100? No, no, it's kind of relative. It doesn't come free. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Do a little course correction there. Looks like even more. Yeah, 2 airports to go. I'm kind of looking at my fuel, kind of like, yeah, I think I'll be okay. We'll find out. I've landed with low fuel warnings before. As I put 15 in each tank, so I started off with 30 gallons. So my hardware is, I have a Fulcrum 1 yoke, which is made here in Great Britain, and then I have a set of Mfg Crosswind Pedals. Trying to remember where they're made. Eastern Europe, I can't remember the country right now, sorry. But what I did is I added, there's a dampener kit that you can buy from them, and so it kind of the crosswinds are pretty easy to over control because there's no noticeable D10 in the middle, and you can pretty easily control them. So that's there's a damper that goes on them to kind of slow that down, and it's got over 20 adjustments to various dampenings, and it works really, really well. I'm so happy with how well it works. Where if you want to give it full rudder deflection, you're gonna feel that resistance. So just like you would in a real airplane. So it works quite well. So to improve my taxiing a lot, and my takeoffs and landings are much improved. Trying to maintain runway heading, trying to both on takeoff and landing. So pretty happy with that investment. So, and then for so that's basically the only hardware in the cockpit. So the rest of it is all done with Valve Index controllers, VR controllers. So basically my throttle, my mixture, the flaps, trim wheel, all the switches, all the knobs, all that's done with a VR controller. So I have 2 physical hardware pieces, and then the rest is done with my VR controllers and the Valve Index. So the Valve Index is unique in the respect that it's attached. So basically there's a strap that goes over the back of my wrist, and so that kind of so they can't leave. And when I was after probably the first between 5 and 10 hours of flight training, I was taught how to trim an airplane. Was basically taught how to fly an airplane with 2 fingers, not a hand, and that's 2 fingers on my left hand. So the Valve Index, I've got my fingers sticking out. That's the only way that I've been this whole flight controlling this airplane, including landings. I don't have 2 hands on the yoke when I land. Nope. One hand's got to be over here on the throttle. if things go a little wrong, you got to kind of give it some power and retrim and all that stuff is all done with my right hand, where my my left hand is controlling the yoke, both the yaw and the pitch. So that's how I was taught how to fly an airplane, and that's how I fly one in the sim. And the X-Plane's implementation of VR is how I learned how to fly an airplane in VR, and I personally think it works pretty good. There may be other ways to do it, but I kind of like the way it's done in X-Plane. So I see with software update 7, Microsoft Flight Simulator is going to add VR controller support. And I was glad to see that one of the controllers that is supported is the Valve Index. So that made me feel pretty good. And then what they also mentioned is they're going to support proximity, and they said something about ray. So here's how I think that works. So if I come down here on my trim wheel, when I get close to it, it lights up. That's proximity. So when my controller is in the proximity of the virtual trim wheel, it lights up. So if I grab the trigger right now and pull up, I will move that trim wheel. Same way as on the knob. It's highlighted. I can feel it in my controller. So when I run that in the proximity of that knob, the controller itself, I can feel a thump in it. So it lets me know I'm there. When I rotate the knob, like if I hold the trigger and turn that, I can feel in the controller it rattles. So you can actually feel the detents that you would feel in a real airplane. You can feel them. So I was kind of happy when I saw that that was how they were going to support it. That made my day. We'll absolutely have to see how that works out in real life. But that was just good news to me. So 16 miles out, I think. 18 miles out. So let's get to EGHH. So elevation 38 feet. So we're going to be a pattern of about 1,000 feet. So let me get that tower dialed in. Said COM1 standby 125.600.
COM1 standby set to 125.6.
Okay. So in the standby frequency down here, the one that's highlighted, we have that tower frequency. So whenever I'm 10 miles out, I'll go ahead and contact tower. So let's see what we got. Really? That's the same kind of runways. That's interesting. So 310. 310. And there's a runway 8. So 8's over here, 310. Nope, 26. 26, 310, yeah. 310's closer to 310's closer to 26 than the 08 by far. Okay. That's going off to the left just a little bit too much. Yeah, shimmering is a lot better now. I still see it a little bit, but it's kind of hard in VR to get rid of all of it. But it looks a lot better. Where you see it is on like power lines and stuff. You see the shimmering from the anti-aliasing a lot on that kind of stuff, and vertical towers, that kind of stuff. You see it. But I just run it up like 1 notch, so. But I could see that I had frames to spare, so and we're good. A little bit of green mixed in, hardly any red, just some, just stripes of red, not bad. So I gotta get to the left a little bit here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we might be a little tight on fuel before we make it to the last airport. I was doing a group flight in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm coming in on approach, and it was kind of like a Cub or something like that. It was a kind of airplane where you had to switch the fuel. On these are on both, so they pull them out of both tanks the same time. But on this particular airplane, it was that didn't work. That didn't happen. They had to keep switching from one tank to the other, and I hadn't been doing that. I'm coming in on landing. All of a sudden, I hear the engine. It's kind of like, that don't sound good. So I'm looking at the RPM. It's starting to fall. I'm like, what is going on? And I looked at the gauge, and I went, oh, I'm out of fuel. So I flipped it to the other tank. It caught, because it was still spinning pretty good. So it caught, started, and restarted, continued running, and kind of like. But that was like the last. I think that was no, it wasn't the last airport of the night. No, it wasn't. But it definitely had my attention. Because it kind of like started losing power, so I kept trying to run the throttle in. Didn't make any difference at all. I'm like, I got full throttle when I'm coming in for landing, and I'm losing elevation fast enough. I need to do something pretty quick here. So luckily I figured it out. Tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Tower, go ahead.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, inbound to land.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, good afternoon. Squawk 1200, enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 26.
Okay.
Call downwind.
I'll do that. So airport's 9 miles out, 8 miles out. Kind of a nice looking harbor down there. Let me bounce out of the airplane. Yeah, that's a nice looking harbor. That's pretty cool. They got a container ship there. Oops. Pretty nice scenery. Pretty nice scenery. I better jump back in the plane here before I get lost. Yeah, close enough. Yeah, maybe I'll try it one more time. There we go. So 6 miles out from the airport. We said it's 38 feet, so probably be good to pull back some power. Go back to. I will try 2,000. Hello. We'll try 2,000. See if we can find it. Looks like I'm reasonably well lined up for our left downwind for 2.6. So. And I'm on the right side of the. I'm on the right-hand side of the airport, so all I gotta do is find it. Alrighty. So she was dropping in altitude, so I basically pulled back on the yoke and left the throttle where it was to try to get the airplane to slow down a little bit. So the slower I come in here, the more time it gives me to find the airport. So 4.5 miles out. Still wants to descend a little bit. Yeah, I hide the yokes, because when they're not, you can, if the controller gets close to them, it lights up. When that's true, if you happen to click the trigger, then that controller controls the yoke, besides your physical yoke. That can be a disaster. I've had it happen before, and you're sitting there trying to figure out why you can't control the airplane. And basically your physical yoke and your VR controller are fighting each other. So it's kind of a bad thing. Part of the scenery looks pretty good. Other parts of it don't look very good at all. Alrighty, where are you? 3 miles. So it should be on my left. Like something over there. Yeah, I think so. Kind of looks like a runway there. It's not easy to see. Nope. Yeah, maybe there. Yeah, that looking like a runway. Yep. Wrong approach. That's the runway. I was approaching it incorrectly. 26 is going this way, so I gotta go up here. So right now I'm parallel with the runway on runway heading. So I'm gonna go out here a little bit, turn around, do a 180, and then I'll be on the left downwind for runway 26. So just looking for the runway. And I got low fuel. Man, that dropped really quick. I can't believe it dropped that fast. Because it was up like above 10 or a little bit below 10, and all of a sudden it's like right down in the red. Whoops. You better do some evasive maneuvers here, Bill. Okay. See if I can recover. I had never seen that happen before. I mean, it lost fuel like way faster than I've ever seen that happen before. I'm gonna do a touch and go. I was just trying to get enough fuel in here to keep it from stalling. I should have put more fuel in it, but it is what it is. We'll worry about that after the touch and go. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Downwind runway 26.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf call turning final for runway 26.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf request touch and go.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 311 at 11 knots cleared for the option runway 26.
Okay. That was exciting. Alrighty. So now I put in a fuel and I ain't gonna worry about it. I could have got fuel there, but I decided I didn't really want to bother with parking and getting permission and all that good stuff. So, alrighty. There's the end of the runway. Pull back on the power. Hold up on the yoke. 1 notch of flaps. Try to get the plane to descend. Looking for a 45 degrees. Runway 6,000 feet, so we got plenty of room. We'll go ahead and turn on our base. 1 more notch of flaps. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf turning final. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf turning final.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 311 at 11 knots cleared for the option runway 26.
So my call was delayed, so I kind of overshot the runway a little bit. Trying to get some power out of here. 1500 should be good. Last notch of flaps. Up we go. Yeah, I just never seen the fuel like drop like that. Cause it was about where it is right now. And then all of a sudden it's like down in the red. I mean, it was like almost like I had like a fuel leak. It was just crazy. I just had never seen that before. Oh well. It's a fun part of flying. It is never the same, no matter what you do. Alrighty, you need to be on the heading of 87. So we're 500 feet above the ground, so 87 is going to be behind me, so we'll just do a slow turn here. So do a turn and a climb. Once I get up to 1500 feet, I'll pull the power back to 2200. I'm just doing a slow turn here, trying. It's called a standard rate turn, so at the rate I'm turning right now, I'll do a 360 in 2 minutes, but I'm not going that far. 87, okay. Alrighty, back to 2200. Final leg. 59 miles. I wonder what's wrong with this airplane. There's something wrong with it. So I'm going to put 5 hours of fuel in this plane. And hope I can get done. Because this thing's going through fuel like gangbusters, and I don't know why. The fuel pump isn't on. Let me check something. Can't see. I don't know. There's something wrong with this airplane. This airplane is it's called a it's a reality expansion pack plane. And they get up. So, because of that, it simulates realistic things. So what I'm thinking is that I actually have a fuel leak. Because there's no way I should be going through, although that's a lot of fuel flow, and I'm not so sure why, because I'm not that high in elevation, so I wouldn't think that I need to lean the plane out, because I'm oh. Well, I am higher than I thought I was, but even so, I wouldn't think it should consume as much fuel as it is. I got that here? Nope. A bit crazy. Let me get lower. I thought I was too low. Turns out I'm too high. Because the problem is I can't look at the maintenance log while the plane's flying. It's kind of, just can't. So I have to get landed. So I'm doing some things I normally wouldn't do. Just to get to the last airport and get landed. Too crazy. So I pulled the mixture back a little bit. And the EGT is still it's fine. But the fuel consumption went down a lot. Interesting. Gotta be a leak. Because I pulled the mixture back and the fuel flow is dramatically less. There has to be a leak. But I can't actually... So the fuel pump is off. Too crazy. That just keeps consuming fuel. So I've got 5 hours of fuel. Well, hopefully I get there without crashing. I had never seen this before. So it'll be interesting what the failure is. So is it a rep failure or actually an X-plane failure? I don't know. But I can't look at the maintenance log right now. I mean, the only way I can look at the maintenance log is to shut the plane down, and I'm not in the mood to do that right now. But I had never ever seen this before. I'm kind of looking at switches to make sure I ain't got something that could be doing that, but I don't see it. I got no idea. Yeah, don't get out over the water. Good Lord. So the fuel flow gauge is definitely not matching what my tank gauges are doing. Yeah, put more fuel in it. There's something not right going on here. That is too crazy. I just can't wait to get on the ground to figure out what is wrong with this thing. I know the first thing I'm going to check. And if it is what I think it is, that's spectacularly modeled. If when you fuel the plane, you don't put the caps back on, the wind across the top of the wing will basically siphon the fuel off, the fuel out. The problem is I'm not comfortable enough to jump out of the plane and get up on the wing to see if they're not on there. But when I get landed, it parked, I'll certainly be able to check that. I'm not so sure when that would have happened because I didn't fuel the plane from outside, so I'm not sure when that would have happened. That would have been that they would have not be closed, not be tightened. But you should be able to look at them from the back of the airplane. They have a real noticeable mark of the handle of it. So basically they're supposed to be looking like right straight ahead. So if they're turned a little bit, that's obvious. You can see it. So the only thing that makes any sense, because I basically have my mixture pulled back, so I'm leaned really well, but I'm leaned down to about 2 gallons per hour, and I'm going through maybe 15 or 20 per hour. I'm going through a lot of fuel. And doing it not true to life, that's fine. But I'm just trying to find out what's going on. And if it isn't that, then I need to ask Claudio, what would make this happen? Because I don't see anything wrong. Even yeah, because I mean I'm like 2 gallons a minute on fuel flow, but way more than that's going out of the tanks. but you can absolutely get up on top of the wing in VR. You can actually get up on top of the wing and you can actually check them. So once I get this thing parked, shut down, that is exactly. I'll probably pull up a maintenance log first to see if there's anything obvious. If there isn't anything obvious in the maintenance log, then it's got to be something like that. Or just a legitimate bug. Because I put 6 hours of fuel in this thing, and we went through at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half of fuel already. So I'm only 15 minutes away, but I may have to put more fuel in it before I can get this thing landed. Pretty crazy stuff here. I do like rep airplanes. I've not gotten this realistic behavior. Huh. I have a little trouble with my right controller. I don't know why. Alrighty, last airport, EGKA, 4 feet. Alrighty. Oh, that's awesome. We got 2 towers. Oh, made this flight a little more stressful than I was planning on. Yeah, because I was at the previous airport. I looked and I went, yeah, I should have enough fuel. I can make it to the end. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, it wasn't that many, that long. And all of a sudden, I seen the low fuel indicators come on. I went, well, that's kind of odd. I looked at the gauge and went, what the heck? And next thing I know, the engine stops. I'm like, that ain't supposed to quite happen that quickly. I mean, if you're not paying attention, it'll happen, but... Too much. You can actually like watch it. You can actually watch some gauges dropping. That's nuts. Oh, getting towards the afternoon here. Early evening. Hopefully I can put that out of my mind until I land. Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Tower, go ahead.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf inbound to land.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, good evening. Squawk 1200 altimeter 3015, expect to enter on a left downwind for runway 20. Call downwind.
20. Okay. Ooh, this is a shorty. 2,000 feet. Okay, there's the runway. Oh, that's the runway. Ooh, that's a shorty. Better have your stuff together now, Bill. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 20. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 20.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, call turning final for runway 20.
Okay. Wowie cowie. Okay, that's the end of the runway. That's gonna be fun. That's way too close. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, final.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, winds are 281 at 9 knots, cleared to land runway 20.
Launch not to flaps. It's hard to judge.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, exit runway when able.
Okay. I had no idea. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it good right here. Give me a spin around. Okay. So, parking brake. Avionics off. Mixture. Okay. What's going on? Hello. Hmm. Why ain't it showing the maintenance report? So, it ain't it. Certainly doesn't look like. I can look at both of them. Let me get over here. No, that's not it. I'm not sure what was going on, but that's not it. What I don't know is why that ain't lighting up. I got no ideas. If I can't get to the maintenance log, there's no way I can tell what's wrong with it. So, but I don't know. But I can certainly see that's where it belongs. Those are both correct. It wasn't because of that. That wasn't it. There was something else going on. I don't know what. But like I said, I should be able to get to the maintenance, and I can't. So I think I called it a day. That was a lot of fun. A lot more exciting than I planned on, but hey, that's okay. So yeah. Okay, look. If you enjoy this, let me go back in the cockpit. That's a lot here. If you enjoy this content, please click on the follow button. And I've been trying to stream a little more regular, but I'm not succeeding. But when I stream in VR, and in a 5-minute explain, I'm going to stream with a reality expansion pack. But I certainly need to figure out what was going on today, because man, I was going through some fuel. I could not believe how much fuel I was going through. So I kind of hoped that I would get here and I could open up the maintenance log and kind of go, what's wrong? But I can't even open that up, so I'm not so sure what's up. Maybe it's over in 2D mode. I don't know. I'm not gonna bother to worry about it right now. But I'll look at it and try to figure out what's up with the plane. Did kind of a poor landing, but mine was in way too many other places. So, alrighty, I'm gonna call it a day. And thanks to anybody who was watching. Thank you so much. And we'll be doing this again once I figure out what was wrong with my airplane. Have a great day.